Mr. Pitt, what a pleasure, sir. What brings you to my humble manor at such a late hour?
You can save the pleasantries, Doctor. I think you might have some idea why we're here.
No, sir. I can't imagine why you would...
Cut the crap, Steiner. That absent-minded professor routine ain't cutting the mustard no more.
Really, Lefty? Mr. Pitt, I have no idea what you mean.
All right. How's about I spell it out for you? That package you were supposed to prepare for me. I just got a call from Sammy down at the taxidermy shop. He said there were some missing pieces.
Well, I don't know anything about that.
I see. Well, you can understand how that might upset me. You know, I like people to follow my orders and not do too much independent thinking. And if that ain't enough, we came past the sludge dump on the way over. I was going to show Lefty here what was left of the private dick. And guess what? He wasn't there. How about that? You know anything about that?
Well, nuclear waste is quite corrosive.
Which is why we dump the bodies there. But ain't no body that decomposes in a day, Doctor.
Maybe he was in a hurry.
Sorry, boss. I hate a wise ass.
As do I, Lefty, as do I. I think despite his protestations to the contrary, the doc here could enlighten us on some topics of current interest. Let's bring him along and see if we can't learn something.
With pleasure, boss. Move it.
Wait. You stay here and keep an eye on the place in case something turns up.
Gonna have to put a little more oomph behind this thing if I want to move it.
And it arrived by courier in the box. I examined it and sent it off to the taxidermist as you instructed.
What about the brain and the eyes?
The taxidermist just throws those away. I figured I'd save some time and throw them in the sludge dump.
What about the body?
Yeah, egghead. What about the body?
How am I supposed to know? I never saw the body. You only shipped me the head. Why don't you go and look in the sludge dump where you left,
How do you know the body was in the sludge dump?
That's where you put all the bodies, isn't it? You said it yourself.
Yeah, I suppose I do with that. I am a creature of habit. Mea culpa.
I've told you everything I know.
I'm betting I can remind him of some other things he knows.
No, I'm prepared to give the good doctor the benefit of the doubt.
Thank you, Mr. Pitt. I appreciate it.
Don't mention it, Doc. You've been very valuable to me and to my organization. But, alas, since the nuclear plant is online, I think your contract has reached its termination point.
Yes, exactly. What?
Lefty, I think it's time we introduce the Doc here to the Horseman.
The Horseman, you say? Would that be the Headless Horseman? The one that lives in the woods past the graveyard?
Damn, Doc, you ain't gotta shout. Of course I mean that Horseman. You know about some other horseman I don't? Now come on, let's get this over with.